Hi everyone, Tony from Hack the Movies here. And what better way to find out that celibacy is the way to go than to watch It Follows? Let's talk about it today. Hello, Crystal.
Hi, Tony.
How are you? Hello,
Okay.
Cayley. How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
I'm doing great.
He doesn't actually care. Obviously, he just goes,
Yeah,
just doesn't care how I'm doing.
Sure. Today we're talking about It Follows. This year will be the 10th anniversary of when it premiered at the Cannes Film Festival.
Sweet.
I know people are going to be like, it came out in 2015. I'm like, yeah, but it premiered in 2014. We're still doing it a few months early because May is going to be very busy. But yes, It Follows, also getting a sequel. Finally.
They follow.
Oh, no.
I didn't know about this.
Yeah, the demon's Polly now, and he won't shut up about it.
Wait, are you serious?
No, that's what I'm guessing. So yes, I think the director, David Robert Mitchell, is coming back for that one. He also wrote and directed this. This is a movie about a demon who is an STD. He doesn't have an STD, or maybe he does. I don't know. Yes, this movie kind of snuck up on me. I didn't even know about it when it came out. Somehow this DVD ended up in my possession around in 2015, and I think my friends were hyping it up at the time. They cosplayed as the characters and the film's costume designer retweeted them. So I was like, oh, let me finally watch this movie. So 2015, my mom was recovering from surgery. My sister and my future brother-in-law, who's not Prison Mike, totally different person. We're like, hey, let's watch a movie. I'm like, well, this is a scary movie. Let's put it on. I haven't seen it. And we watched it. The movie was done. And everyone in my family hated it. And they were mad at me for suggesting it and putting it on. And I had to be like, but I watched it the same time you guys did. I didn't know what the movie was like. I personally really like the movie. When did you first see this, Crystal?
I have no idea.
That's great.
I don't remember yesterday. Anytime you ask me.
Start making up elaborate stories of when you first saw it.
I was a young child.
Like when I was a little girl. Like, okay, movie's not that old. Cayley, I assume you have a better memory.
I saw it in the theater,
Okay.
which was great. And then as soon as it came out, I bought it on Blu-ray.
Ooh.
And then my ex-husband took it when we divorced. And it was the only thing he got in the divorce. And I was really upset about it.
That's bullshit.
Wow.
I know. He took that and a beer that I really wanted.
A beer?
Yeah. It was a nice beer.
Is it no more? It does it not exist?
It's hard to
anymore?
get on this side of the Mississippi.
Oh.
Aw, that's so shitty.
So I missed my copy of It Follows. And I missed
And
that beer.
I noticed months after my last breakup that my NECA Jason Six figure was missing. And I was like, ow, I guess they took that one. Anyway.
I don't want to talk about the things I lost in mine. I in my entire 9 years was flipped upside down.
Yes, and I assumed you liked it.
Yes.
Yeah, this movie has a lot of deep themes, apparently.
It does.
Dealing with sexual assault and whatnot.
Loss of innocence is a big one.
Yes.
That
yes.
is insane. I would love to credit this YouTuber I watched last night. I can't remember his channel.
Great job.
Thank you.
Great.
Like
Credit
I said,
credit to some guy on
I'll
YouTube.
give you the YouTube channel. 'Cause
Okay.
the way he did it was absolutely phenomenal. And I don't want to ever say hey, this information, it's very, the way he did it was very, just really well done. And about the different because everyone's like, oh, this is about STDs.
Mm-hmm.
He came up. I mean, it is. He does talk about the innocence and stuff like that in
Yeah.
the movie, but the way he does it, I was like, I never even thought about that, and I was like, yes, it hits the nail on the head of how great it is.
Yeah, I wouldn't say as we go through this film, the look is pretty cool. The movie, to quote David Lynch, lives inside a dream. And there's a quote from the director that said, he convinced the film on reoccurring dreams that he had in his youth. And he said, I didn't use those images for the film, but the basic idea and the feeling I used, from what I understand, it's an anxiety dream. Whatever I was going through at that time, my parents divorced when I was around that age. So I imagine it was something to do with that. The movie does feel like an anxiety dream, like a dream that you can't wake up from, that you really want to wake up from. And again, if you look real close, I didn't notice until the second time I watched it. I'm there's not everything's making sense in this world. They all have old CRT tube TVs, But then the one girl's got a clamshell mirror that's also an e-reader.
Yeah.
There was really cool things in that theory of the YouTube.
Yeah.
I don't know if we want to go into that now or as we go along.
We can go into it a little bit further. I do, because I have some other examples of like weird stuff in
I
here.
like what I think is really unique about all of that is that it makes the movie timeless. So
Yes.
we don't know what year it is. We see some modern cars, we see some modern cell phones, we see some older cars.
Yeah.
And because you have those, CRTs and the clamshell.
Yeah.
You just have no idea. Same thing with everybody's wardrobe. The wardrobe isn't really indicative of a particular time period.
The music.
The music.
Yeah,
The
by
music
Disaster Piece,
Yeah.
which is really
Disaster
good.
Piece
The
is
music's
amazing.
really good.
There's old films playing in the back. Like also
they go
just
to
Yeah,
see
they're
Charade.
always
That-
watching black and white old films. At
There's
one
really
point,
cool
there's
things in
a
that.
small tube TV on top of a big tube
Yes.
TV.
Yeah. But I think that really one of the things that makes this movie so great is that we now get to put ourselves into this place, and that's why it kind of feels like a fever dream where you have this anxiety is because you don't know if you're a child, you don't know if you're an adult, you don't know what is going on, what
Yes.
period of your life this
Yeah.
is happening. This is just happening to me, and there's no escaping it
Yes,
except for maybe celibacy.
obviously.
Boo.
But
No.
the theory that I listened to was about how it's basically about like the circle of life and how death is chasing you.
Yes.
And
I can see that, yeah.
And there's circles represented a lot in this movie. And I didn't even realize that until
I
it
can see it
pointed
maybe
out.
with like the pool and
well, water also is a whole nother
Yes.
symbol. If you look at the portraits, in one of the backgrounds, it's circles, and it's like as the main actress and her two grandparents, and that's symbolizing because that's in the center. The cards that they pull out is like the thing of old maid, where it's like young, and then the old maid in the middle.
oh yeah.
Little symbolisms. I don't know if they were intentional or if it was one of those things where you're like, I'm gonna make sense of everything.
Yeah, I don't know. It's open to interpretation. I
It
think a
is.
lot of this. But let's really go through this film.
Yeah.
Oh, look
Okay, so it opens up with a woman in her pajamas and also high heels.
Yes.
Why the fuck is she wearing high heels? I couldn't find symbolism in that.
It looks cool in the scene we're about to see, but yeah, logistically,
Come
I'm like,
on.
lady, take the heels off.
You're running from something and you're wearing heels.
Oh
Stop
wait, you know
it.
what? This is 2015, so she just
fuck yourself.
walked out
No.
of Jurassic World
No.
and saw Bryce Dallas Howard
No.
running from a T-Rex in heels.
No.
And said heels are appropriate to use in this situation. So she runs away, and I love how like they never show you what she sees.
Personally, I think that it unravels in an interesting way. So the first thing that happens is she's running out of the house. Somebody asks her if she needs any help. And then she says no. And then her dad says something. And she says, no, Dad, I'm fine. And she runs away again and again. And then she goes to another house, right?
No, she goes into
No.
her house.
Into her house.
But she like makes like kind of a loop. I think because whatever's chasing her is in the street and but it's slow. So she's like running around to go get her keys and get the hell out of there.
Yeah. I don't know if I can come up with a reason for the heels other than that it makes the next scene
Yes.
look really, really, really rad.
Yeah, so she drives out to the ocean and she calls her dad and leaves like this really sad voicemail, like apologizing for the way she acts.
I'm so sad.
And everything, and she loves him. And then the next morning, she is super dead. It's a pretty grisly image to start your movie on.
It's a grisly image. It was very reminiscent. The first time that I saw this, I was like, Jaws.
Yeah.
Like we're doing Jaws,
Yeah.
the opening of Jaws on the beach with the leg, like disgusting, and it caught my attention like immediately.
Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
I was like sucked in.
Yes, because she was
instantly.
killed very violently.
Yes.
Then we meet our main character, played by Micah Monroe, who was, she plays Jay. She was in The Guest, Adam Wingard's The Guest. And then she went on to be in Independence Day Resurgence, playing the Mae Whitman character. Why didn't they just bring Mae Whitman back? She was in the original. She's the appropriate age, and she's very cute, but I guess she's not as cute as Micah, so they fired her and replaced her. That movie sucks. Never watch it.
Let me pause you because this is something that I did think was interesting. There's no opening credits.
Oh yeah,
I didn't know
there isn't even like a title
so
card.
there's no
Shit.
title card. We don't get any of that until the end of the movie. And again, I think that's one of the reasons you get so sucked into this universe so quickly, because you never have the break to I am watching a movie.
Nice
It's
eye.
Yeah.
it's almost like found footage without being found footage.
Yeah.
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 I feel like I'm running around with her.
Yeah, it really.
Yeah.
It's
You're
that's
on
the
the
cool thing
journey
about
with
this
her.
movie, how it, like really puts you with the characters. But
And
yeah,
I think
she's
they all did really well too, FYI. Like just
Uh-huh.
like their acting and stuff, I felt like they were very relatable. I almost considered her to be one of my underrated final girls, but I don't think she fought
don't-
as hard
Yeah.
as other final girls that I wanted to pick. She wasn't as, I guess,
yeah,
revenge driven.
and she gets some poor young stud killed, so she's obviously the bad guy.
I
in the
don't
film.
know
Did
that
she,
I would
though?
count her as the final girl though, without jumping too far ahead.
Yeah, it's
I
debatable.
don't know that I would count her as the final girl, which we'll jump back
It's-
to.
it's
at the end.
debatable.
Okay.
So yeah, she's swimming in the pool, and some boys are spying on her, but she's aware of it, which I thought was pretty funny. She's like, "I can see you," and you see like the kid. A kid is spying on her the whole movie.
She looks so young in this first scene.
She's supposed to be 19. She was probably like early 20s. But,
But
yeah.
I'm saying, like, compared to the rest of the movie,
Oh.
this scene, I went back because I compared her to the end of the movie and this one. She's very innocent looking.
Yeah.
And we can go later into the bathing suit, the difference in the bathing suit.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of, even, like, we even talked about in Night Swim,
Okay.
right? How we talked about the high schooler in the pool and she looked very sexual. Like,
Yeah.
she was sexualized in it.
Because she's played by an older person. Yeah.
Yeah, but she's still in high school.
Yeah.
But this is like, and that happens a lot. I want to say unfortunately. I get it, but then
Most
again,
of the
they're also in
slasher
high
movies you
school.
watch in the 80s were like,
know, they're all high
I'm
schoolers.
14 and here's
they're
my kids. And it's like,
yeah.
oh, you're played
But
by a
they're
30-year-old.
Clearly not.
Yeah.
But this one, she looks young and she's playing it very
Mm-hmm.
innocently.
Although she's not super innocent, as we find out. Anyway, inside they're all watching a black and white movie. I think it's the original Thing from Another World or something like that.
No, it's Killers from Space.
Okay,
Yeah,
at some
it
point they
is.
watch the Thing though,
the-
right?
You know what? They might actually, now that I.
Yeah. So there's 3 movies. I think one of them is the Thing. Killers from Outer
I
Space,
might
and then
be
I think
mixing
they're
it.
watching the giant claw at one point. I
Yeah.
recognize that big bird. That looks like the
Yeah.
giant claw. So yeah, and then this is where we meet her friend. So she has her sister Kelly, I think.
I don't remember their names.
I think it's Kelly. Then there's the guy who likes her, Paul, and then Yara is their friend who's on that weird e-reader thing.
Mm-hmm.
And Paul is like obviously into Jay, like he's not subtle about it at all.
No, and it's, to me, throughout this movie, a lot of people are like, "Oh, he's in love with her." Blah blah. It's not love; it's lust. He has full lust because he's in high school. It's those the
Yeah.
high school hormones is what it is. And I've heard people be like, "But he's in love," and blah blah blah. And
Yeah.
I'm like, "No, I don't know. He just wants to fuck her."
She's a cute girl.
She is.
Now, this detail I missed the first time, and I feel like a lot of people missed this.
Hmm.
There's a picture of her dad on the mirror.
Yep.
And that's very important for the final form of the film. But I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Like, I just they also don't do really a close up. Maybe they do at some point.
I don't think so. I think that's the only time you see him. There's a lot of little things like that throughout this movie.
Yeah. She goes on a date with a guy named Hugh at an old movie theater. Like a very old movie theater with like the curtain, and there's a
love
guy
it.
there with a fucking.
So
Oregon?
that's the Redford Theater in Detroit.
Okay.
And that's like one of the first. This movie is so Detroit.
It
There are
is.
so many references. They filmed in Detroit, but in addition to that, you can just tell
Yeah.
that everybody who was involved in this loves Detroit.
This came out the same year as like Don't Breathe, right?
It was just before that.
Yeah, because I remember there was like this. I'm like, oh, another Detroit horror film.
And with 2 words in the title also.
Yes.
I went through a thing where I was like, all the movies that are horror that have 2 words that came out between 2010 and 2020, those are great movies. They're all inherently great.
I'm gonna find some that are not.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
sure there's
sure
a
they're
lot.
funny.
But I think that all the references to Detroit are super, super awesome.
Okay.
So that's where we get that Redford Theater, which is iconic and like stunningly beautiful.
Do they still have a guy on an old pipe organ?
I believe that they still have the organ, and I think
Okay, I
that
thought
they
that was
use it.
another timeless thing. Like,
No.
what is the setting?
There's theaters in Rochester that do that.
There's
stuff.
one in
Stop trying to sell Rochester. We all know you secretly work for the Rochester Tourism Bureau, okay?
It's
I
great.
just
Everybody
doxed her.
come to Rochester.
Near Nyack, New York, they actually have one where he plays it, I think, at least once a month.
Stop hyping up
It's
Nyack, New York. We all know that
don't-
you're on the Nyack, New York
I don't
tourism.
live there anymore. Sorry.
And they're going to see Charade, which is a great movie.
Ah, yes.
That's the movie that they're going to see.
And because this is dreamlike, I'm like, is this a current movie or is it an old movie? Who knows? Maybe that was the big premiere. But while they're there, they're playing a game where they want to like switch with people.
Yes.
Like, who would you switch with? Oh, that person, that person.
I love this part.
This part's good. Where he's like, oh, that girl in the yellow dress. And she's like, what girl? He's like, that one right there. And she's like, I don't see a girl. He's like, we have to leave the theater right now. I feel sick and we have to leave and we have to go.
No, before that. I love
Oh,
before that.
he says the little boy because
He
he's
says
like,
because the innocence.
Yes.
And she says, oh, the people making out because they're in love.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other one's like the innocence of that child, which I think is one of the first symbolization. I keep wanting to say symbolization.
Symbolism or-
Symbolism. Thank you.
Or just symbols.
Wow. Symbol. Words.
I'm buying you a dictionary.
I'm just going to stay here the whole time.
Tony, that reminds me of symbolism.
No, it's the way I see the word in my head.
Yeah.
And that's why I was always really bad at spelling, because they would be words and I couldn't spell them because the way I say that. It's just the way it looks and the way it sounds and stuff. Like the words don't, in my brain, they don't work right.
I totally get that.
I don't know. I think it's like people like with numbers or they see color. Like some people's brains just don't, words just aren't that.
It was
Great with me.
hard as a kid trying to spell Philadelphia. I'm like, yeah, but that's a P. What the hell's going on here? What are we doing here? Anyway.
But I think that's the first time you really hear about any type of innocence.
Yeah.
About a child.
And it kind of helps. It kind of helps his character because he's kind of painted as like the bad guy for the first act, but you can tell he kind of has gone through a lot of what she's about to go through.
Yeah.
But so yeah, they book it out of there. And they're continuing their date at the diner. There's someone following them outside. Or is it following them? Is that just someone who happens to be walking?
Mm-hmm.
Jay and her sister are talking about Hugh, and they're like, yeah, there's something weird about that dude. And then their neighbor, Greg, I think
so.
Yeah, he's eyeing
Yes.
them up.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's eyeing her up. Then Hugh and Jay, they go into the creepy woods and then a river or something. I don't know what the hell that was about. And then I have it here. She makes Jesus cry by having sex out of wedlock, which you should never, ever do.
That's why you're still a virgin.
Yes, I'm a born again virgin.
Born
It didn't
again?
count. Every time I break up, I say, Jesus, that one didn't count. And then he goes, I got you, buddy. So I am pure and clean.
Wow.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I would never be,
Dedication.
the demon wouldn't even know where to find me because I'm so pure.
The demon's like, I'm not even gonna touch that.
Yeah. And this, for some reason, is a super iconic scene. They put it on the poster and everything.
Well, it's how it starts. It's,
huh?
it's how her journey starts. How it starts following her.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's also a super disturbing scene.
Yes, it gets disturbing. She's like playing with some weeds afterwards
Yeah.
and just talking about like, I always imagine myself on
Her
dates.
first time. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And,
And-
being magical, which is what a lot of girls imagine. Like, you know, they
Dream.
want it. Yeah. It's like some girls, you know, imagine their wedding. Some of them imagine their first time with someone that they love. And they want it to be special. And you can tell from this movie where it represents a lot of times that's not what happens, and it represents disappointment when
Yeah.
when you're looking, you know, when you're a child, all you want to do is grow up, and then once you're an adult, you're like, nope, lies.
No, I was different. I'm like, well, all the adults I know are miserable. And then I became an adult. I'm like, I'm actually having more fun than I was when I was a kid. I'm the opposite.
When you
like
idealize something
Yes.
like your first time or like your wedding so much that you have this perfect image of it, it can never live up to those
It
expectations.
never will ever.
And so that's very much what that scene is representative
Yeah.
of. And she is playing with a little flower. She's kind of hanging out of the car after they're done doing the deed. And she's playing with a little flower and, you know,
And then-
talking about the beauty of it. And then Hugh comes
He
up.
comes in, he's like, yeah, that's nice. And he just drugs her. Which is kind of hard scene to watch. Like, now knowing the context, it doesn't seem that bad. But the first time you're watching it, you're like, wait, what's happening here? She wakes up and he starts spilling the beans.
She wakes up tied to a wheelchair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is attached to the camera, so I kind of like that it moves with her.
Yeah.
He basically says like, "Hey, so there's this thing. I kind of passed it on to you. It's like an evil demon, ST demon. That's what I was calling it, the ST demon." Oh, it's so funny, Tony. Oh, thanks, whoever said that. I agree. Oh, thanks, both of you.
I'm sure someone online just giggled.
It wasn't either of us.
No.
No, it was both of you. Yeah, it was both of us. Yeah, see, the podcast listeners, they're going to fall for that. Yeah, so he's like, yeah, so this thing is coming after me. It's spread through sex, so just have sex with someone and spread it, and you'll be good. Because if you die, then it comes back to me.
How did he find these rules out?
Probably from the person who gave it to him.
Yes.
So I like that we get the rules right out the gate. We get the rules super early on in the movie. It is following you. It's always going to be following you. It's slow, but it's not dumb.
And it can look like
anything.
A random person or someone you know.
Mm-hmm.
And it can walk.
Yeah.
And you should never go somewhere with only one exit.
Yes.
And I love that we get all of that, again, right out the gate, because now I'm set up for the entire rest of the movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
To follow those rules and know when other people are breaking those rules.
Yes.
Which I love.
And he's got her strapped up because he wants her to be able to see it. And he can still see. So if you had the curse, you're always able to see it. Even if like you pass it on.
Which is interesting because you're both seeing it at the same time, but it's not representing what is close to you. At that point, if it's two people, then is it just a random person, or
remember, it goes back and forth. I think I think it switches between people you know or just previous victims it had. But so now it's like a naked lady.
A lot of them are naked in this.
Including
her
if
grandfather.
it is victims, considering how it kills them, that makes sense.
Her grandfather?
Huh?
Her grandfather was on the roof. That was her grandfather that was naked on the roof later in the movie.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
That was her grandfather.
I didn't realize that. I have a note about that.
There's two male figures in her life that show up, which is one at the end and and the one on the roof.
Well, now it's just some naked lady. And he's like, "Hey, do you see this? Do you see it there?" She's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Okay, now let's get you out of here." And listen, Hugh, could you put some clothes on the girl before you drop her off in the middle of the street? That was...
It's like, you could have done that before you put her in the wheelchair. But also, no, why you also tied her up to put her in the car?
Yeah, well, she was probably going to, thrash around and whatnot.
Yeah,
I think it makes sense. So, coming from his standpoint, if he's trying to convince somebody of this crazy thing that nobody's going to believe him about, he has to do something wild. And so he did something wild. And obviously, from an outsider, it looks like he's the most horrible person in the world. But from his point of view, maybe he already had other people who he tried to pass it along to, and they died. And so now every time that he's tried to pass it along, he's gotten more and more honed on how he's going to do it, because he needs to really convince you that you got to survive.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. So the police come and question her, and the whole neighborhood's watching. The police do investigate. Unlike in the real world, I think there's 25,000 untested rape kits out there. But they actually
really are.
Yeah, in this world, the police actually investigate it.
Yeah.
But yeah, and Jay is obviously having trouble coping with what's happening. She's looking down at herself, and then she hears a noise, and it turns out it's that fucking kid across the street. But she never finds that out because he's ducked below the window. I'm like, what the fuck is that kid's problem?
So weird.
That is a really weird scene that I could not parse out exactly why it was happening.
Which part? Just
him hiding behind the window. What was the point of including that? I understand the point of her inspecting herself in the mirror. So she's looking in the mirror. She is,
I think it's a fake out to be like, oh, is the thing already at her, coming to her? But it was just that kid spying on them.
Yeah.
So it's because now we know to look for it. So that I think that was us being like, was that it? Is it here? Yeah. So yeah, then she goes to school, and the ST demon. The ST demon is now doing a bad job of blending in. It's at a school for all high school kids, and it's dressed like an old lady in a hospital gown.
Well, she doesn't have to, or it doesn't have to blend in because.
But I mean, if you want to if you're trying to trick the person,
I don't think
into
they're
gaining
trying
its
to
trust.
trick.
Sometimes it is. Sometimes it isn't.
I don't think it's tricking. I think it's there to fuck with you as well.
as the movie goes on, it does kind of fuck with them.
It does, absolutely.
Yeah.
Something that I listened to last night was saying it was an old lady because it starts off with that thinking that, oh, it's death. Because you became, it's like one of those things where she became a woman after, giving it up.
Gotcha.
It's now, when you're younger, you don't really think about death and life. But now once you are in adulthood, all of a sudden, that's what it is. And sometimes you just can't, and that's the whole point of this movie for, what I listened to last night, was that death will always follow you and you can't escape it.
Yeah.
And the old lady is representing old age to where it's going to happen. Everyone is scared of getting older at this point. We were just talking about like surgeries and plastic surgeries and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's because we don't want to even look like we're aging because we're so fearful of aging.
Well, this old lady
So-
definitely aged.
This is exactly what you were saying is what makes the school scene so incredible. So there's lots of cultural references throughout this movie. We already talked about the old movies on the TV. In addition to that, when she's reading on the clamshell, she's reading The Idiot. We have lots and lots of references to that. In the school scene, when Jay is still in class, the teacher is reading the love song of J. Alfred Prufrock by T.S. Eliot, which is my favorite poem of all time. So I was
sweet.
like, yes, I love this. It's amazing. But that is such an interesting poem, in particular for having the old lady in this scene, because it is all about the fear of aging. The poem repeats, there will be time, there will be time. And in addition to that, it's a poem that really deals with the psyche of a man feeling like he's being stilted while he's trying to find a mate.
Yeah.
So that poem it's effectively the storyline of this movie in so many ways. And then in addition to that, you get that fear of aging. And that it's like a perfectly done scene because you get all of those things so compacted, you don't even realize how much is going on until you start thinking about
And
it.
Also, this movie gives me a major Carpenter feel.
Yes.
So
It
her
does.
seeing
Disaster
Yes.
piece.
the music, but also her seeing the monster through the window in the school is kind of like Michael.
Yeah.
So, and also the way like the monster kind of chases people is sort of like
I was
Michael
going to say
walking.
that too. Yeah.
But yeah, so they get to the hallway and she's just like, hello? And the monster doesn't respond, but the girls do. So that's when she starts to realize like, oh shit, this might be real. This might be real. And then she tries to deal with this stress the only way women know how, by eating ice cream. They go to the ice cream place. What?
When you're in high school, ice cream, like going to an ice cream shop.
Also, her sister and Paul happen to work there.
Yeah, screw
I don't know if they should
you.
be giving her like full tub of ice cream, but okay.
Why not?
And she's
Ice
trying to
cream's good.
explain this to them, and they don't believe it. Which I've read like people are like, it's kind of like how people don't like believe victims right
Yes.
away.
Yes.
Although, if someone told me there's a magical demon and it dresses like random people and it's coming to eat me, I'd be like, oh, you're a crazy person, obviously. So I understand why the characters in the film wouldn't believe them. So they all hang out. Where are they? They're at their house, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because the mom's like not. The parents are always like gone in the film. You really never see the parents.
No, you don't. And their backs tend to be turned to the camera
Yes.
as well.
Yes.
And that's supposed to be showing that you are going through this journey with the high school students. not
Kind
with
of
the
like-
adults, but you also see later in the movie how much they're drinking and how miserable they are as well.
Yeah. It's kind of like E.T. For most of that movie, only the mom is the only. The mom is like the only one that actually gets close-ups and lines of dialogue. It isn't until later in the film when the government comes in that adults start to like invade the kids' world. This reminded me of that. So they're all hanging out. Paul's standing watch, I guess, and he's watching the giant claw. And then she wants to sit next to him, and then she's being kind of flirty. She's like, "Remember when we like kissed when we were kids? And then you kissed my sister?" I'm like, wow, Paul really got around, didn't he?
I would totally kiss Paul. He likes metal. He's always wearing full of hell shirts and stuff.
He is.
He's super sexy.
Paul, are you listening?
Hi.
I don't. Oh, the contest might. When's the contest end?
I don't know.
Oh, it might be done by the time. If the Date Lucy Type Box contest is still going on,
Yeah.
guy from It Follows,
You should enter.
you should enter it.
So
Don't
what
listen-
exactly is the
Enter
contest?
Lucy
So no
Tightbox.
one knows what this contest is. Please
It's
explain.
Win a Date with Lucy Tightbox.
So-
Which is her alien, her superhero name.
Yes, it is my superhero name. On Who Are These Podcasts every week, I am Lucy Tightbox, and you can enter to win a date with me, which will probably be done by the time that this is out. But, you know,
Can girls sign up too?
yeah.
I'm totally signing up. Is it through raffle? Or is it like
I have no idea the rules. I am showing up and
I think you should date that guy who's a really good swimmer. the one who was secretly a shark. That was my favorite because she's afraid of sharks. And this guy left a voicemail. It's like, I'm a really good swimmer. I can do this. I can smell blood from miles away. It's like, wait a minute, that might be a shark. Or the guy who fights sharks. That guy was pretty good.
Yeah, he lost the leg for me. He was 6'6" and he lost the
He
leg
lost
for
the
me.
leg fighting sharks. Anyway.
It was really sweet.
Enough about dating you. God damn it.
Anyway.
That was
Where
gonna
were
be
we?
Paul.
Oh,
I'm gonna
don't
do it.
forget Paul. I
Oh,
saw
yeah,
that.
Paul.
I
Sign
really,
up for
I'm competing with Paul. This isn't fair. I'm just
Yeah,
gonna
because
drop.
you're
I'm
gonna
just
kick his
drop.
ass so much. It's not even fair.
So yeah,
Fuck you, Paul.
they're
I don't even know
talking.
what his real name is. I think I follow him on Instagram and I still don't know what his name is. Okay.
So yeah, I don't know why Jay's picking now to be flirty of all times. But this conversation is cut short because someone just smashes a window.
What do you mean you don't know why? He's seeing this girl he wants to.
No, why she's being flirty. I don't know why she's being flirty. I feel like I had other things on my mind.
I feel like at this point she is kind of toying with the idea of, do I have sex with somebody else? And so she's trying to leave her options open.
Yeah, but
Wow. She went full bad guy that early.
but she
Wouldn't
didn't
you
do
think
it,
about your
though.
options?
Yeah.
I would absolutely, the first thing, if somebody told me this and then I started actually believing it, the first thing that I would do is go, okay, what's my next move? Am I going to try to pass it on? Am I going to just let the person before me get chased again because fuck them for giving it to me in the first place?
Yeah.
Like what are my next, I would immediately start going through that.
Yeah, it's definitely
Yeah.
an option.
And
but
you
she-
would go through
yeah,
that on your own.
Absolutely.
yeah, trying to think what I would do.
Oh my god.
So I would
I-
probably
oh, I
do it with
know- I-
You
everybody.
literally push women out of the way
I know
to
what
put
I do.
them into harm's way.
Someone
to save
says there's a
yourself.
sex demon coming. I'm like, Joanna, we should get back together. Get back at that one, huh?
Joanna just laughs and laughs.
And then Ian will be single. Then me and him will be happy.
I mean, you're not wrong. But no, she's definitely weighing out her options, but she's
guess.
very hesitant, and it shows a lot of what
It's
tends
like
to
a
be
mo-
typical in high schools, where
Yeah.
a lot of girls are more hesitant to give
She
it
has
away.
restraint.
Yes.
Yes, but a lot of the guys, if you look in this movie, are just looking to give it away, give it away, give it
I
away.
can't wait. I can't wait.
I got one too. The fuck?
Paul's looking throughout the house. She goes into another room and then she sees it again. And this time it's definitely something the demon killed because it's a girl with like her hands bent backwards, her teeth are all busted, and she's peeing herself. And I'm just like, Jesus Christ, that was a bad form to pick for this part. Is that the one who threw the rock through the window?
Presumably, but I don't know that we actually know that.
I'm trying to picture
The
that
rock
girl being
throwing?
like, "Ah!"
Can they change like within?
There's nothing that says that they wouldn't be able to shapeshift mid.
I like that we don't
Yeah.
see the shape shifting.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, I like that.
I mean, no, they do, because we see her and then we see a different one.
No, but we
It's in
never-
the same
You know,
house.
when the time that we see the closest to the shape shifting is when they're at the beach house and the tall guy walks by the
Yeah,
door
but
right after the.
I'm saying we never physically
Maybe that's
like.
what I'm thinking.
Yeah, that's
of.
the
Yeah,
closest
that's
that
what
we
I'm
get to
thinking
see
of.
in the shape shifting.
But I mean, we never. It's not like Mystique in X-Men. We don't see
Yeah,
like an
yeah, yeah.
effect or something like
Which is
that,
good.
or like a
Thank
morph
God.
effect.
Imagine they just CGI'd that. How horrible everything. It would be just a joke at that point.
I got to go back to the conversation they were having because they talked about finding porn in an alley. Now, this is a new phenomenon to me. Have you found porn in an alley? We pointed out in the Blair Witch review that woods porn is a thing.
Yes.
And I am still getting comments like up until like a few days ago where guys are like, I'm so glad you mentioned woods porn. I also found one. So many young men have found woods porn and they're so happy they found a video that also
Acknowledges it.
acknowledged it. Like it wasn't just me. Why was there so much woods porn? But now this alleyway porn, I didn't know anything about.
You have talked about that finding porn in the woods so many times. Yes, we know it exists, Tony.
So yeah, they found porn in an alley and that's so cute. And then the girl shows up. This part scares most people. This has like one of the best scares. And if it was made in 2010, it would have a lot of loud noises accompanying it. So basically she locks herself in the room.
This is what I'm thinking of.
Yeah. And they're like, she's like, it's out there.
Yeah.
It's out there. Don't let it in. Don't let it in. And then Yara wakes up. She's like, can you guys let me in? And she says, don't open the door. They open the door. And then like, it's so good because you don't see him right away.
No.
Yara's there. And then you see like the tallest motherfucker in the world, who I think died like shortly after the movie came out.
I think he's 7'7".
Yeah. And he's like missing his eyes and stuff. And he just comes in and it's terrifying because you're not expecting that giant guy to be there. And it's also creepy because they can't see him and he's like walking around. Like when he like comes into the room, it's really creepy. I remember that part made me go like, oh my God, I don't like that.
What I love about this movie so much is that I've probably seen this movie a total of around 10 times, one of which was yesterday.
Yes.
And that is one of the scariest scenes in this movie.
Yeah.
And I didn't even think about it until you mentioned it. Like, that's how effective of a horror movie this is that the things that are overtly scary are not even the focus, no matter how terrifying they are, because every other aspect of everything is terrifying.
But
not 1,000
That's
jump
so great.
scares.
Yeah.
But wouldn't it be
need
better
jump
with a
scares.
jump scare?
And loud noises.
I'm going to add a jump scare to the scene. Let me know how you like it.
Everything's okay.
And again, I like that the demon is laser focused on its target. Like it's walking around her friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is like something that happens a little bit later, but Jay gets on her bike and just bolts. And then she goes to the playground. They find her. She thinks it's back, but it's just the neighbor Greg. And now he's joining in on this mission. As soon as I would hear like, oh, a demon's chasing me, I'm like, well, this person's fucked in the head and I don't want to be around them. Or if I believed it, I'd be like, I don't want to be near any sex demons. Get me out of here.
Well, he's been looking at her.
Yeah,
Like
so-
he's
Because we find out later they have a previous relationship, so he's trying to like rekindle that.
But
Well, he's
not
trying
even-
to. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I think it's because he's just trying to have sex with her, and what a lot of times is guys tend to find girl. Not saying all, but sometimes when a girl is very vulnerable, a guy's like, "Hey, let me be your hero, and that's going to make you love me more, or at least seem like it, and then I can get into your pants."
That's exactly what my read was going to say.
Yeah.
I never used that strategy.
I know a lot of guys that have.
Yeah.
I
A
never
lot.
used that. I couldn't fake caring that much. I mean, that'd be impossible.
If you're in high school and you really want to get laid,
He doesn't really do a great job of fake carrying. She just
He
falls
doesn't.
for it very
Yeah.
easily.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
she's vulnerable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, they find Hugh's house. She's like, I remember going to his house. He didn't let me in because he was embarrassed. It is a shit show because it's not even like it's like an abandoned house that he was using. And I like that he had like demon alarms, like custom demon alarms set up with like string and like cans so you would hear it coming through the window. I thought that was pretty funny.
Again, that kind of goes to show that Hugh more than likely had tried to pass it along previously and failed.
Yeah.
And I think that's really interesting. And we didn't really ever get that sort of backstory. We just
Yeah.
pick up right from the middle of it.
There's a way where you could have done a prequel, kind of.
I just realized that means there's an awful lot of virgins in that high school because nobody else saw it. And you have to assume that whatever age group this is, it's not a big enough town that nobody else
Yeah.
would be able to see the old lady.
But no, because they didn't have sex with someone who was cursed.
They might, but what are the odds that
Oh.
nobody else in that high school had sex with somebody who was cursed?
Oh, yeah.
What are the odds
Oh,
that
yeah.
Jay is the only one who had sex with somebody who's cursed?
Oh,
there's
yeah.
no way.
There must have been other people.
And then
There had
also
to have
within
been.
that high school, wouldn't you realize a whole bunch of people in that high school are being killed? Because if he really did have that happen to him multiple times, wouldn't that be, unless he's finding random girls, but it seems like he's picking
Well,
girls that
the
he
demon
knew.
can't teleport. It can only walk,
Yes,
right?
it can only walk.
So I feel like some people hop on a plane and they're like, this is a problem
That
for
is
5 months from now.
Famously, what the director.
Yeah.
I think what confuses me a little bit then was why, I think the reason why I was questioning if that is the 100% true story of when someone else dies, it goes back to you, is because Greg is still so scared.
Well, yeah, he's scarred from it.
But she knows that she's still alive.
Yeah. But we're getting to that part. They find a picture of Hugh inside a stack of porn magazines that look like they're from the 70s.
Yep.
They don't look like recent ones.
Again, we don't know what year it is.
Yes. They visit the school to find out who he is and what his real name is. And his real name is Jeff Redman. And they get in the car to go find him, and Paul is starting to get more jealous of Jay and Greg
Yes.
because they're going in together. Yeah, I like that they went to the school to look for information. They should have used Gigablast and just blasted off.
Oh
and
my gosh.
It's a callback to the Nightmare on Elm Street remake. They find Jeff, and he basically tells everyone the same stuff. I like that she's afraid to. It was kind of weird. She's afraid to see him again And then it just crosses off, and they're all just sitting and talking. I'm like, oh, I
Yeah.
thought we were gonna see that moment where she has to like face him for the first time.
That would have been cool. I would have
Yeah.
liked that. But there's
Uh,
already so much happening in this movie.
yeah, but he tells them all the same stuff. He's like, hey, you can't do this, you got to do this. It comes down the line, and I like that he has like a panic attack. Because he is now so traumatized. He sees a girl walk, and he's like, do you see that girl? Do you see that girl? They're like, yeah, we all see her. And he's like, oh, thank God.
The music swells.
Yeah.
It's like a very perfectly done.
Yeah, and he
can
basically
feel
says, he's like, wait a minute, you got to get as far away. Like, we
you
shouldn't
c-
be here.
You can feel his paranoia. You can feel his anxiety of being followed, which
Yeah.
again goes back to the themes that you were talking about in
Yeah.
the beginning. And that's exactly how this movie does such a good job, is that even when you are no longer being followed, you are still terrified to your core.
Yeah. Which again has a lot to do with like PTSD and
Yeah.
whatnot.
Yeah.
But
So
I like it because it doesn't make him as much of a bad guy, because someone did the same
Yes.
thing to him. He was
Yeah.
also taken advantage of, which you can dissect that like victims become like people who do that later
Cycle
on
of
in life.
violence.
Yeah.
But when he say that to me, I was just thinking of it wrong. Was like, oh, he's like freaking out because he thinks it's still going to kill him, even though she's alive next to him.
Well, that's the problem. She's alive next to him. So if it kills her, it doesn't have that far to go to get to him. That's why he's like, we should not be near each other. Get as far away from me as possible.
But then you would know if he's still in date. Like, wouldn't you want that person? I guess maybe you don't want that person. I don't know. I can see
Yeah.
it both ways, to where you are with them and kind of like you both can see them together,
Mm-hmm.
almost like tag teaming. Like, oh, wasn't there a movie recently where the two people, it was like things were out to get them, and they couldn't be alone. It would, something would come and kill them if they were by themselves, but they were with someone else. They were safe. Nothing was going to kill them. Forget what movie this was. I think it was a recent movie.
I have no idea.
It was like a big game, and they won like all this money at the end.
Oh, I have no idea. I didn't see it.
Anyway, it reminds me a
The
little bit of that.
Blackening?
No,
I know that was a horror movie about a game. I didn't see it though.
No.
Oh, sorry.
But the two, if you're together though, wouldn't you have some? I understand, like, oh, it's going to kill us closer range to you.
What if they
But
just
would you-
kept having sex with each other? Would the demon have to be like, wait? What if they were just always
How many
have?
times can the guy go, though?
Well, I mean, who says you have to finish? I mean,
So, I mean, that begs
so
the
they
big
would never go.
question, yeah.
It wouldn't go after many women if that were the case.
I do have many theories about how you could defeat the demon, but
So anyway, they decide to go to Greg's beach house, which he just has. It's not a nice one, but he has it. And he teaches Jay how to shoot a gun. Yeah, and then they all relax by the water. This is a good. The fake out here is pretty good.
Yeah.
Because you see Yara walking up behind her for a while, and like Greg walks past her, you think everything's fine, but then like it cuts and you see Yara's in the water, you're like, oh no! And then this scene is cool, but Paranormal Activity 3 beat them to it a few years prior when the little girl's hair gets
Yeah.
pulled up. But that is a cool scene where like
It
it
is.
grabs her. Everyone else it kills like pretty much right away.
playful.
Felt like holding her up in the air for a little bit in front of other people. But I like this is the one time where Paul hits it with like a chair and it actually fucking
it
knocks
has a
him
reaction.
out. Yeah.
Yeah.
It like it doesn't want to kill anyone else, but it wants them to just get away from them. Which I thought was pretty cool. That adds like an extra element to it. This is when it starts to confuse me. So they all run toward that house. They grab the gun and they shoot it, and they like shoot it in the neck, and it actually feels pain and falls down and then gets back up. And I'm like, wait, is this like a demon? Why are bullets hurting it at all? Is this like a physical thing? Like it's more of an issue at the end of the film, but here I'm like, why are we even establishing this?
I guess I didn't think about it that much. I don't know that
No.
I care.
Yeah.
I think that it was one of those scenes where, again, this is your anxiety. You're trying to keep your anxiety at bay.
Yeah.
You don't know how to, so you're grasping at straws. You're doing whatever you think that you have the ability to do. So
Yeah.
you're gonna shoot it. Maybe that helps for a moment, but then your anxiety keeps
Yeah, I
coming
get
back.
that in like a
Maybe.
slasher film and stuff, but for here, I'm just like, well,
Yeah.
why did the gun work and the chair
Yeah.
didn't? I start to have like questions about it.
Maybe it's because you can in real life somewhat try to slow down death, but you can't ever actually escape
It's
it.
inevitable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can like do as much as you can to prevent as much as
Yeah.
possible, but
But this is when the giant shows up.
I'm sorry. I just realized you just asked, can you keep having sex with each other? I didn't even realize in my notes it says, can you fuck it back and forth? And I did not even realize that I had that in my notes.
That's amazing.
Sorry.
So yeah, for a second, it is the giant guy.
Yes.
Then it like fucking blows up the thing. So it can't teleport, or else it could just teleport into the room. Like, does this thing run when it's off camera and only walk when it's on camera?
It says that it's slow though.
It gets around though. It gets around pretty
It's slow,
quick.
but
So does
it's
Michael
not
Myers.
dumb. So
Yeah.
perhaps one of the ways that it is smart is that it sees if I get into somebody else's car that's about to start driving in this general direction, then I can get out of their car when they stop.
Yeah.
So that might be like it's slow, but it's not dumb. So it doesn't necessarily need to teleport. It just needs to be able to understand human behavior.
Does it take buses?
Maybe.
Can it ride forest animals?
It's smart.
Can I ride on the back of a motorcycle? Because that's the only way we could think of Michael Myers to get into the one house
Oh,
and
and
the last
Halloween
one.
ends. How do they travel together? I like to imagine it like turns into like a little person and rides on the back of a deer and like smiles.
I would
and then
like-
and then it's like now back to killer mode.
I think it emulates a lot of 80s slasher with the slow movement.
Yeah,
Because we
no,
even
I
said,
get
like,
that's what they
going
want, but
through-
now I start to pick it apart. I'm like, bullets worked. Well, then what else would work on this thing?
Yeah, but we're talking about like how do they appear?
Yeah.
Michael appears out of nowhere. Jason appears out of nowhere.
Jason straight up teleports in 8.
I'm saying in the originals, thank you.
But anyway, I like that Greg peeks his head through the thing. He's like, is everyone okay in here? I don't see anything. And then the demon chooses the form of the asshole neighbor pervert boy. So that guy comes back to play. Yeah, so it gets in there. She like uses the sliding door, which I guess the demon didn't see. Probably would have been easier than kicking the door open, but whatever.
Wow.
And it comes in again, comes out as like a random girl. She gets in the car, books it, and then just fucking crashes.
Yeah.
Yes. Let me see here. And then she wakes up in the hospital, and now this scene is pretty tense because she's in the hospital room and she can't move or do
Yeah.
anything. And like, I love when she's just looking at the hospital door, the room door, and like the nurse walks by, and she's like, she's like, is that a real nurse or is that a sex demon nurse? I don't know. I don't know.
This is the second time because we just talked about children in hospitals being in danger more at the Nightmare on Elm Street remake.
Yes.
Here it is again, where children seem to be more in danger.
2 weeks in a row.
Also, the hospital only has one door, right? So
Yes.
she is very aware that she is in a room with only one exit.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's aware that she is helpless. She is aware that she has absolutely nothing to do that can escape what is about to happen.
Yes.
We see an awesome scene next of the nurse, the two nurses in the closet.
Yeah.
You notice that it was really cool. It's like a cycle of life kind of little scene before we hit
Yes.
to them two.
Yeah, it's like the
It's-
nurse is talking, then you see like a young kid, I think.
It's it's a male and a female nurse.
Yeah.
And we think like because they're about to like do it in the closet.
Yeah.
Then you kind of see a family with the kid, and then you also go to another room where it's a child dying. It
Yeah.
looks like, and it's kind of like one of those things where it made me think when it's the circle of life, but also sometimes you never know when death is going to appear, like you see in the child.
Yeah.
Like you don't know where it's going to be, but you really don't think about it until you go back to focusing on our main character, who is at that age where it is prevalent in her life.
Yeah. And here she is getting Greg into bed. Poor guy. I don't know why he would sign up. It's not even
He
like
wanted to.
It's not even like he doesn't believe in it because like clearly it all was just proven to them.
Doesn't he also say though he's still not sure about it?
Yeah, he acts like he does not believe in it.
I think he really doesn't.
Maybe he didn't. He actually didn't see the attack.
Yeah, so he after they do have the sex.
Yes, the sex.
They
that's
do.
what it's
After
The
after they
intercourse.
have
Once
the
they have
intercourse.
called. Make Jesus cry.
Yeah, after they make Jesus cry. Jesus, of course. So after that happens, he keeps saying, I still haven't seen it. I still haven't seen it. He acts like he doesn't believe
Yeah,
that it
the-
ever was a
yeah.
thing. And I don't think that that's because he isn't seeing it. I think that that's because he's like, oh no, I'm like a big strong dude and this is all just bullshit. And she was like faking this whole thing.
Yeah.
Or-
he's
or-
in
And I
denial.
got laid and it was great.
Or
and-
he was talking to another lady early on, so he might have been fooling around a little bit, and it just took a while to come back to him.
No, you see, isn't it the very next scene? You see him talking to a girl in the cafeteria. Isn't it that very next scene? You
Was
see her.
it?
Yeah, I think
Well,
it's
I
the
know
very
earlier-
Next, yeah, it was after she has sex with him. You see in the next scene him having conversation with a whole bunch of girls around the table and flirting with her.
He might
so
have
you're
just
like, is she
Immediately had sex.
Yeah. Yeah, and she's like, you haven't seen? He's like, nah, probably doesn't even like me. Yeah, I think
He's a
I think
player.
it makes more sense that he was spreading it because unless the
And
demon
those people died.
Unless the demon was like, well, if he's expecting me to kill him, that's not fun. I guess I'll wait a little bit.
I think this theory about him fucking somebody else immediately after that delaying it for a couple of days. I
Yeah.
think that's
That
the
or
theory
he
that
was
makes sense.
trying to? He was trying real hard. Doesn't even mean that he actually did it.
Yeah.
He's just it's showing that he's doesn't care on who he does pass it to,
Yeah.
if he does it or not, but he just doesn't care. And he's just there, even though he's trying to show her affection. She's believing that he actually cares. Easily the next day, he does not give a fuck.
No.
The only thing he cares about is sex.
Yeah.
His motivation is sex.
Yeah.
But yeah, then finally the demon shows up, dressed as a guy in a bunch of long johns.
Isn't it supposed to look like him?
No, I don't think so.
I thought it looked almost like him a little bit. From her, like when she looked at it, it looked like Greg was breaking.
I don't know. I think it just looked like a dude. But I like that it can't open up the window and like picks up the rocks and then just like climbs right in.
It's so interesting that they can't go through wall, like a demon can't
Yeah.
go through these things like that. I had to break a window in the one house. This is the second time it's breaking a window.
It doesn't know how to pick locks or anything like that. It's
I mean, maybe that shows more of why you can shoot a bullet at it.
yeah, maybe. Maybe it is
mean,
like a physical entity
It's
thing.
fallible.
Yeah. So yeah, it gets in there. She's trying to like warn him, which this also reminds me of the original Nightmare on Elm Street, not the one we reviewed recently.
Gross.
But yeah, she picks up her big cord phone and she's like, what did I
Just like
drop?
that?
What
Just
just dropped?
I don't even know stuff.
Oh, it was a Lola Bunny.
How do you even know what's there? There's
Lola,
so much junk.
no!
There's so much junk over there. I look at new things every time.
This is my figure of the animatronic at the Ark of the Covenant Lancaster Museum. He's like the Jewish priest. He comes out. He's like, "Welcome. This is where the Ark of the Covenant is." I want to put that right there for you, Lucy. I suggest going to the Ark of the Covenant Museum in Lancaster,
I
Pennsylvania.
love Lancaster.
We know that you work for the city of Lancaster.
Damn it! You got me.
Yo.
There's also a sharp weapons museum, but it was closed the day I went there.
Lancaster has a whole bunch of Amish stuff. I love it.
Mennonites. They make it very clear that they are not. Because the Ark of the Covenant Museum is actually attached to a Mennonite thing.
Do you know why I know this? Because my mom swore that's where our ancestors or our relatives or whatever were Mennonite. I think I've said this on the show before. She made us go to that area almost every year and do the one-room schoolhouse and wear a bonnet. And for Multicultural Week, I had to go into school in an elementary in a bonnet and a dress and an apron to pretend I'm Mennonite, and I had funnel cake.
No.
I don't understand.
I
my
celebrated
life.
my culture in school. I just went around like lying. Very Italian thing to do.
Trish, is this accurate? How do you feel about
She'll
this?
agree. She'll agree. And if she doesn't agree, then she's lying and also proving my point. Anyway,
This always coming up Millhouse.
everything's coming up, Millhouse. So she finally breaks into the house and she sees the demon who is now, he says mom. I don't know if he just thinks his mom is on the other side of the door or if that really is his mom.
I believe that that's actually
Well,
his
that
mom.
makes this next scene weird. But also, I like
Yeah.
that the demon is just knocking really hard. It's like, ah.
Hot MILF ghost.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then this is the most we see of this is the only time we actually see it murdering. But it like kind of like is very sexual. It's like grinding up on him, covering him in juices.
It is the least erotic sex scene
Yes.
that isn't in a Cronenberg movie.
Or a Stutter and John film.
Yes. Both of those things are accurate.
I'm glad I
I'm just going to
reminded-
excuse myself for a minute.
I don't even want to know.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
It's really a non-erotic for being a sex scene. And it
Yeah.
is a sex scene at
Yes.
its heart.
But knowing that this is how it kills people, and I really want Tommy Wiseau to be in They Follow, because he's great at sex scenes.
Yeah.
Tommy Wiseau from The Room, he has the best sex movies. He doesn't know where the vagina is, but if he did, He know how to work it.
It's so awkward because it's with high school students. Like this
Yeah.
demon, you don't ever know what age they are, and it's just
Yeah,
all
you're
these
right.
high
The
school
worst thing
students.
about this killer sex demon is that it's with underage kids, and I think we should cancel it. Also, I think they're actually college because she's 19, unless she got held back a couple times.
It's very confusing to me if it's high school or college. There are times where it feels like it's high school, and there are times that it feels like it's college. And again, I think that goes into the we don't know what year it is.
Yes.
We don't know. It feels very timeless. I could be going back to school as an adult. Who knows what's going on? But they do make it clear that she is 19.
Yes. So yeah, it kills him, and he's like dead, and he's blue and all bloated. And I don't know why it doesn't just immediately turn around and grab her. I guess it does.
She runs pretty quickly.
Oh wait, no, she does. She
turns
sorry.
and she does the go down the hallway with her arms on the wall.
That's right, she does-
which
she
is,
does
like,
run away.
I love how that looks in movies.
You're right.
Yeah.
And
Like
that-
it's the very like tunnel vaginal canal. She's like literally running down the hallway like that. And
Yeah.
it's very. That's also like that weird eroticism.
You're right. I
Didn't
misremember.
even
For
think
some
of
reason, I
that.
thought the scene
No,
cut,
I
but
did.
no. She gets in the
You're
car.
Thank you.
She gets in the car, and you see now it's back to the guy who it was outside. And he's like walking out of the house. She goes out into the ocean, and she sees a bunch of dudes on a boat, and she starts to get undressed, assuming that that's a bunch of good-looking dudes on a boat with no women. I feel like those guys are having boys' day. They might not even. I would like the deleted scene where she comes onto them and they're like, honey, we're just not into you. I want to see that scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I guess she doesn't go through with it.
I think it's still ambiguous.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
I don't know that we know one way or another.
yeah, I think because the scene she has next where she's talking to like Paul about it.
'Cause wouldn't that scare you more
Yeah.
if you don't know if the people you had sex with survived or not? So now you're just constantly paranoid for the rest of your life, even if they stay alive.
Yeah.
Like, how would you handle that with it being strangers? You don't know the person. You have
Not
no
my
idea if
problem.
they survive or not. What do you-
Not my problem
what do you mean
anymore.
it's not your problem.
No, it is their problem.
It would, because if they die, it comes back to you. So then you don't know, and then you're always paranoid no matter what.
Yeah. But I don't think she did, because then she's talking to Paul and he's like, well, why did you pick Greg? And she's like, well, I slept with him before, so I felt more comfortable about it. So I don't think she swam all the way out there. Which again, I don't know.
Literally or figuratively.
Yeah.
She didn't
yeah.
say that she slept with him before.
No, she did. No, she mentioned she hooked up with Greg.
Hooked up and didn't sleep. Because I thought she lost her virginity
No,
to
I
the
thought
other
she
guy.
said I thought she said she slept with him.
I thought that she lost her virginity to Hugh.
That's what I thought too. I think they
Oh.
just hooked up.
Yeah, I
Oh,
think they did
okay.
too. But either way, that would explain where her comfort levels
And
were
she-
coming
Yes.
from.
yeah.
Whichever scenario that is.
And
Yes.
she says the words, I think he could handle it more.
Yeah. Paul's sad. He's like, I wish she would have passed the evil sex demon to me. And I'm like, once I found out it was real, I'd be like, wow, that really sucks, Jay. Bye.
He does not care. He is.
Crystal, if you come to my house one day, he's like, Tony, an evil sex demon's after me. I'm like, well, you should have read the Bible, and I'm going to lock my door.
You would have did that to me no matter what.
I also,
Crystal would have been like, "Hi, how are you?"
oh, you
Read
should
the
have read the
Bible,
Bible
lock the
more.
door.
He's gonna do it to me tonight when I leave. Bye. Throwing Bibles at me as I go to my car. Like what?
I don't even remember what this reference is anymore.
So, Paul comes up with an idea to electrocute it. And
Can we go really quick right before that?
Huh?
He tries to kiss her at the
Yeah,
worst
not the time, dude.
moment.
Not the time,
like,
dude.
Hey, listen, I know you're super upset and super traumatized, but like I'm gonna go ahead and kiss you. And she's like, what the fuck? No.
Yeah, no, you should
Come
only
on.
kiss girls when you're marrying them on the wedding day.
Oh.
It's the only time you should do it. You ever see videos of people who did that? Like they don't
Yeah, and they go like this.
they don't know how to like actually kiss. It's hilarious.
really
There's no way they
uncomfortable.
didn't practice on the back of their hand or like with I don't know things.
You don't get a lot of practice with the back of the hand, I think.
I don't know. I never had to deal
You're
with
not
that.
even
but,
like doing this, you're just back
like-
of the hand.
I don't know. I see movies where like it's like kids trying
It
to
was like a mouth.
I gathered what
If it had
was.
googly eyes, you'd
I
see-
think J-Lo from South Park. Every time when I think that, I think South Park. Was it Yalo or what is it? I forget. No.
Don't even.
Taco. That's what it was.
Yes. Did
Um,
it have like a wing and everything? Yes.
so Yeah, so he comes with the idea to electrocute it because I guess they were watching the original Thing where they electrocute the Thing, but how does he know it's going to work? Where did he...
I mean, I think at this point they're just kind of
Just doing
grasping
anything.
at straws. Yeah,
Yeah.
what are you going to do? So at this point, her options are die,
Yeah.
pass it on to somebody else, hope they don't die, or try to kill it.
Yes.
And they don't know what is going to kill it. They know that a gun won't work, so you got to try something else.
But it bled, and if it bleeds, we can kill it. It's from Predator. Predator is a good movie.
Yeah.
It
The
is.
Predator.
Yeah.
I got a Predator mask off camera.
We're aware.
Remember in Predator when Arnold was like, ah! The Jay should have did that before the pool thing. She should have called the demon and went, ah! That would have been awesome.
Yep.
So yeah, they get to the pool. Yara is talking about like 8 Mile, not the movie.
More Detroit references.
And talking about like
Yep.
different
neighborhoods.
Yeah.
State fair, how
And
they
I
get
was like-
permission, and
Yeah, and
you
I
know.
was like, yeah, that's cool, Yara. We got other things to worry about. Shut up.
Well, I think again that's that loss of innocence. So you know
Yes.
that's talking about what the conversation that they're having is my parents wouldn't allow me to go past this area because they didn't think that it was safe. You know, and now we're going past that area. Now we're going and we are going into the unknown.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that makes that scene that much more tense.
Absolutely.
So they plug in a bunch of appliances at this rundown pool, which still has electricity, I guess,
And still has water in it.
and still has water in it. And they're putting them on the side of the thing. So the thing is, they want to lure it into the water. She'll swim out, and then they'll throw the appliances in and electrocute it. Mm-hmm. Again, why they think this is going to work, I don't know, other than they were watching it in a movie. So yeah, she's swimming. The demon shows up, and again, I didn't know it the first time, but it is her dad. Oh, wait, actually, before they leave, you said the grandfather's on the roof?
Yeah, she sees them when she's in
So
the car.
I have a question about that scene. So this demon who constantly wants to follow people and chase them, it'll also climb up on the roof and then stop moving to look cool.
I think it's there to fuck with them, and that's like
I don't know.
how
I think it's
disturbing would it be to see your grandfather naked on a roof?
Maybe, but if his goal is to kill them and he's always following them, why did he stop for a minute to look cool on a roof? He's like, hey, what's up? I'm your
think
grandfather. This is what his dick looked like.
I do feel like for me the demon does need to always be moving. I never thought about that before.
And I could see if like he was following her and then he stopped just to see where she was going. But it's like,
Yeah.
why were you on the roof? You know she's not going to be up there. Again, it's a cool looking scene, but it doesn't make a lot of sense when you think
I will
about...
agree with you on that one.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Again.
I just justified it as it's just fucking with her. Same thing like pulling the hair and stuff like that.
Yeah, I guess so. But when he's in the dad form, he comes in. He does not fall for the trap. Maybe it's
Oh,
assumed that other
no.
people have tried this and he knows what's happening.
Well, I mean, that just plays into one of the rules, which again is that it's slow, but it's not dumb.
Yeah.
So if they know something because of pop culture, because of a movie, because this movie focuses
Yeah.
so much on pop culture and
Yeah.
things that are in society, if they are familiar with The Idiot, if they are familiar with T.S. Eliot, if they are familiar with The Thing, if they are familiar
Yes.
with all of these old movies, Killers from Space, if they're familiar with all of these things, so is it.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
So of course it knows not
Yes.
to go in the pool.
It knows about it, and so does the demon in this movie. I don't know why you're bringing up the clown. That was a weird thing to pull. But they do
You had to do that at least
They,
once, didn't
they
you?
keep calling it it, and I'm just like the
I
clown.
don't-
But by the way, this thing has great aim because every single fucking appliance it gets, it hits her in the head a couple times.
dies.
I don't know how she's even alive after the first one. I would, if I got hit in the head that hard, I'd be like, well, I'm dead. Blah.
While she's in the pool, I do want to mention, I said it earlier, her bathing suit. You
Okay.
actually see a lot more cleavage, and it almost like some of the imagery is her in the pool. And it's like a little bit slow motion, and it almost looks like she's more of an adult in this pool than she is in her own small pool.
Yeah.
And just the bathing suit, because it was very much a
Pretty
pretty
black one piece. Right?
Yeah, and both of them are black one
Yeah.
pieces, and you don't realize really too much of the difference unless you actually think about it.
Hmm.
Where it's a more covering up, less revealing bathing suit in the beginning, and now it's full out cleavage.
I know.
And they're slower.
It's almost as if she wants to cheat in some kind of competition and get people to vote for her.
I would never do anything like that. I
You
don't know what you're
do
talking
that
about.
every Wednesday, except for that one time, and you didn't win.
And I got shit on a lot in the comments about that.
But, by the way, this thing has great aim because every single fucking appliance it gets, it hits her in the head a couple times. I don't know how she's even alive after the first one. I would, if I got hit in the head that hard, I'd be like, well, I'm dead. Blah.
I got shit on a lot in the comments about that. I was trying to be funny because I was wearing a shirt from a school that I didn't go to, just like how John didn't go to NYU. Nobody got my joke. All right, whatever.
I got
Can
it.
you wear a shirt that has fake boobs on it?
Yeah, I would like to.
Yeah. That's like a fake
I considered
tuxedo,
getting
but
one of those
You
when I'm in
told
the
this-
Bahamas so that I can
Well-
start
Oh my God,
wearing
you
it.
totally should.
This show is actually the opposite. I prefer the women be covered up. I'm very upset with you, Crystal. Good job.
I don't look like a slut. Thanks.
I'm gonna bring back face masks, but just for the store when women are on this show.
Just give me one of those. I'll be fine.
Oh yeah, sure.
I don't care anymore. I think at the beginning of the show starting, I really, really cared about my appearance and what people thought. I think
It's too much maintenance.
it's
to think
way too
about
much
it every
Crystal, I
minute.
stopped caring about that before the show started. What are you talking
yeah,
about?
at this point.
Okay, Mister. Nobody told me that my hair looks
My hair looks
stupid.
so
Oh my
bad
God.
in Edward
Yes.
Scissorhands.
Yes,
I
he
don't care
cares-
what people
he cares
think.
so much. He's like, oh, I got fat, or I'm going to the gym. Don't I look good now? Everyone compliment me.
Oh no, because I got a compliment from one person, and then you were just like, "Hi, Tony, you're a piece of shit. I hope you die." And I'm like, "Oh, hi, Crystal." That's how we always say
Mister,
hi.
I will kill you in like a heart. Oh, what? Earlier, like, oh, look, she's dying. That's great.
I
Let me
would
tell
never
people
kill
she's
you. I
dying.
just wouldn't work very hard to keep you alive.
How many times have I been in harm's way and you were the one that put me in harm's way?
I
or
didn't
just
put you in
care?
anything.
I will never forget the time in Philly. But,
Oh
like,
my God, Cayley, wait a minute.
You know what's crazy? I've already heard the story.
I know. I
It's
know.
very traumatizing. But the thing is, I'm almost positive he's done this more than once to me.
I believe that.
Because women
I just
are
can't-
strong and independent and
Yeah,
don't
that's
need
what
no
you- That was
man.
your excuse last time too. I think
Hey,
you're
that's
just an
why that'll be
asshole.
my excuse till the day I die. You know, I watched that episode of Seinfeld where George doesn't save anyone during the fire
when
and
he
gets yelled at.
actively pushes them out of the way.
Yes, and I remember
That's Tony.
I remember watching that as a kid, and I was confused. I'm like, no, but he was right.
Or like the video online of the guy just
No, don't bring
running
up
out-
Hercules. I got you. People get mad whenever I bring up Hercules. I love that man. He has an open invite to the show. If you can find whatever weird South American country he's from, tell him he's got an open invite onto the show.
Oh my God.
Anyway,
It was very smooth though.
he is I'm trying to find the same striped shirt as him so I could dress as him.
And
Hero for
everyone's
the
gonna
ages.
get that reference.
So, the demon, I do like that when they start aiming the gun, it's not even trying to hit Paul yet. It just puts its hand out to, like, I guess, block the bullet, like Neo or something. But yeah, so they shoot it once through the head. And then I like how, what's her face? Yara? Or is it Yara? No, it's the sister. Yara gets shot through the leg because Paul's a terrible shot.
Yeah, she goes down.
Yeah, she goes down pretty quick. The sister is like, wait a minute. And she throws like the sheet over the demon.
Yeah,
Which I don't
which
know
is
why they
very
didn't do
smart.
that earlier. That seems like a really good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they shoot him in the head again. And then he's in the water. He chases. He actually grabs Jay, holds on to her, and then he gets shot in the head again. So Paul went from being a terrible shot to being able to headshot a guy underwater.
Twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I-
But then this confuses me because they're like, is it dead? And she looks at the water and it's all red and the demon doesn't just regenerate and get up like it usually does. So it's like, wait, why did that work?
Maybe it just took a stronger hit. Maybe it's because I'm watching too much Attack on Titan right now. Attack on Titan. Maybe it just took a larger hit and just couldn't regenerate as fast. Maybe it does. It depends on how much damage. Because like when they get hit by a chair, it doesn't do that much damage.
Yeah.
When it gets shot, it definitely took a little bit more of a blow. So I think getting shot in the head, and maybe it did a lot more damage. You can't kill it, like you can't defeat death, but the more preventative stuff, or the more harder you try to slow it down,
Yeah.
you know.
And they weren't even really able to use the electricity thing. They said it didn't work. I think they throw like an appliance in or something at some point. It just doesn't work. So yeah, I just thought that was like a weird ending. It's like they almost wrote themselves into a corner.
People really shit on the ending of this. I did not find any problems with it. I mean, obviously, you just described problems with it, but when I'm watching the movie, none of that bothers
It's
me.
not enough to ruin the movie. It's just
No.
like, I'm like, well, they did such a good job explaining the rules and stuff. I get the weaknesses have to be vague, but I'm like, did that work? And if so, why did that work? That's the part that's confusing.
So here is what I will also say. In the beginning, you were saying how you really liked her as a final girl. I struggled to see her as a final girl.
That's
Yeah.
the reason why I didn't pick her,
Yeah.
because I knew, to me, I could classify her as a final girl, and I was like, she's one of those that you don't really think of, but I don't see her as a strong.
It's
final
more of a
girl.
team effort.
So yeah,
tour.
everybody needs to help with this. And that is also really indicative of like we as a community, we need to help with things like the loss of innocence or the, you know, people being traumatized or the anxieties that happen. And the only way to overcome something like this is if we all work together.
Yes.
And that is why I didn't see her as a final girl, even though she is an extremely strong and has a lot of the characteristics of a final girl. For me, she didn't exemplify that because
Yeah.
She couldn't do it herself.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
Well, that goes right into the ending, which we're probably going to go into.
yeah, she has celebration sex with Paul. Good for him. Good for him. I know you're jealous of this
But
scene,
is
but
it
it was lovely.
you can't wait to have celebration sex with Paul.
Yeah, I
Is
agree
it-
with Crystal right now. What everything
Is
that
it
Crystal
just in case it
I think it is because he's not 100% sure because then he goes out into the red light district there, starts looking up some prostitutes. It's like, okay.
And that
Okay.
also shows that his innocence, because I'm guessing that he was still a virgin. And because it's that very odd conversation that can go two different ways. And when they're saying, hey, how do you feel? Well, how do you feel?
Yeah.
To see if like anything felt different. Or the fact like, hey, you really liked me and you just lost your virginity to me. How do you feel? Like, do you still feel that same way? And it just feels like he also had a similar disappointment of realizing maybe he didn't even think that didn't realize it was lust and not love.
Yeah.
Like afterwards, it wasn't as good as he thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
You hype
Yeah.
up the sex
I mean,
so hard.
who hasn't been there before? You know, when I imagine my first time, I didn't think Nicolas Cage's Gone in 60 Seconds was going to be playing in the background, but there I was as it was happening. I'm like, kind of hard. Nicolas Cage keeps distracting me. What's going on there? Speaking of distractions, I realized I never put the tape back into that blank spot. So someone with OCD is probably going fucking nuts right now looking at the background of this
The
episode.
fact that you just mentioned it, yeah, someone's going nuts right now. They're going, what the hell? And now for the rest of the episode, that's all they're going to be staring at. Good job. Good job,
You
Tony.
just ruined somebody's day.
You know what?
Multiple people.
I'm
He's
gonna.
good at that.
You know what, guys? I'm gonna cover it up with my cameo.
Can you just put the tape? Jurassic Park's right there. Just put it back.
No,
Just
no.
He's
It's a
doing
thing.
this to you guys. He's already admitted he doesn't like you guys. He's doing this for
I love
money.
my
Apparently, the
fans.
show makes money. Only he sees it, and and he wants to torture you guys.
So
by
yeah, they have
doing that.
celebration sex. The ending. This movie ends the best way it could. They're walking down the street, cameras behind them, in front of them, behind them, and then like when it's in front of them, there's someone walking behind them. But it's like,
Is it?
is it the demon?
No one knows.
Or is it someone else?
And it's so weird. Like you hear kids in the background laughing and stuff, and you just see them just so unhappy, like miserable. And
Yeah.
it's like they don't actually like each other. They just don't want to be alone. I think that goes with the fear of dying alone.
Yeah.
Like you just don't want to, you know what you're heading into now. Like life is really freaking scary and adulting's really hard, and you don't want to do it alone.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a good ending. I don't know
Yeah.
how they're gonna follow it up.
We'll have to wait and see.
How they are going to follow it up. But you had some ideas on how to defeat the demon?
Oh yeah, I was trying to come up with ideas. So I think the most famous idea of how you defeat the demon is you get on an airplane.
Okay.
And then once a month you fly to a different country, right? Because it's supposed to be able to walk. But I don't even think that you need to do that.
No.
So it can't swim.
You could probably walk underwater.
It can walk underwater. Can it breathe underwater?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, well then my fuck a fish
I mean,
idea
half
does
of its
not work.
forms are dead people, so I don't think it really needs human functions. So
But it can't walk through doors.
no. Oh, you know what you do? You make a path. Sorry,
No, go ahead.
where it has to go through the Marianas Trench, which
Yeah.
is like the deepest form, and then hopefully the water pressure down there kills that fucker.
That could be it.
Either way, it'd be hard to climb out of that. It's the biggest, like, what's it called? It's the biggest, like, trench on the planet.
Yeah.
So,
Another idea is you Seinfeld that shit and you become a bubble boy because it can't go through walls.
True.
So like I have the disease, I isolate myself, but I still get to be around society. So I choose to be celibate. It's constantly right next to me.
Yeah.
I eventually become accustomed to that.
I like
Can't
that it
burst the
will.
bubble?
I don't know. It can't go through walls.
Yeah. I like that it will
I think you would try a knife and try to.
it will kill you in front of people if it gets you. I thought that was
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah, I did too.
Because like it almost does it. I'd like to almost, if they're doing the sequel, can we get one example of it happening in like a very public place? That would be cool.
Yeah.
Another thought-provoking question that I think is good with this movie is, okay, so in the beginning, Hugh is educating her, right? Hugh is educating Jay by showing her the demon. How would you educate people without tying them to a wheelchair and sedating them?
Yeah.
Like, there's no way to do that.
Yeah.
That's the only option.
Unless it's something like her friends who are aware of it.
I think it depends if you are close to the people, if they're going to believe you or not, or if it's a stranger. You can tell them the rules, but it's not going to hit them because when are they going to notice it? Like for Greg, it was his mom. But for her, like you see these other demon-like like things that just don't seem right.
Yeah.
So what do you see first? Or do you usually see someone that's kind of normal for like?
No, because the first one she sees is that naked lady.
Yeah.
Yeah. How would you defeat the demon?
I don't fucking know. I have no idea.
Well, I have a couple theories.
Go on.
Well, one, obviously, you have to go to a church and give yourself over to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ and ask for forgiveness and be absolved of your sins, and then it doesn't count. Doesn't count. Demon can't get you. Like, hey, no, me and JC, he just forgave me for doing that out of wedlock, and the demon just goes, oh, shucks, and it goes back to the last person. That's how you do it.
Okay. I have
The
a
second
thing, too.
theory is, I'm stealing this from someone. I forget who it was. This was like, I read this when it came out, but it's like, if you consider it sex, it counts. And someone's like, why don't you have like sex with like rats or some kind of animal that is known for
That
reproducing?
was what I just said, was if you fuck a fish. You ignored me saying it entirely.
I didn't hear you say fuck a fish. What?
I don't think I did either.
I literally said, when I was like, oh, can it swim? And then we were talking about that. And then Houston went off and talked about the Mariana Trench. I was like, fuck a fish. Here's my fuck a fish theory.
Okay.
This is my fuck a fish theory. Okay, so if you're in the water, if the thing that you fuck is in the water, that makes it more challenging or possibly impossible for it to get to.
Okay.
You don't want to fuck a normal fish because fish die pretty quickly.
Yes.
So you want to fuck like a whale or some other fish that lives
That's
a really
not a
long
fish,
time.
but keep going.
Some sort of sea creature that lives for a really
You're
long
like,
time.
fish, whales. It's like, no, those are mammals, but yeah.
Well, no, just a sea creature
Yeah.
that lives for a long time. Fuck a fish is how it's written in my notes, but we
You
can
know-
expand upon that idea.
You know what you do? I think it's some kind of lizard. What is it? A monitor lizard that reproduces asexually. You have sex with that thing. Oh wait, no, because then it'll
No,
just
it has
kill
to-
the lizard. Yeah, then
Yeah.
you can't
Well,
spread
so-
it on. Never mind, that's the opposite.
Okay, wait, what about another idea be if you fucked an animal that lives a really long time, like a turtle, one of those
This episode's
Galapagos?
getting
No.
demonetized. Jesus Christ.
I love that you guys are going animals. I'm like thinking, what happens if you have sex with someone that is in an institution that can't get out, or is
Well,
like
then it would
in
just-
solitary where you can't leave?
Yeah, I was gonna say build a cage
Maybe-
around it.
Yeah.
Yeah, or you just fuck someone and then you keep them captive.
I mean,
You guys are talking about fucking animals, okay?
The
I
idea-
think mine's a little humane.
So the idea of keeping them captive is challenging though, because if you keep somebody captive, or if you had somebody who's in solitary confinement, there is one exit to that, and one of the rules is never go in a room where there's one exit. So maybe there's something else that we don't know about the having one exit that allows the demon to get in somehow.
Yeah.
That is part of the lore that we have not yet built upon.
I didn't say
Yeah,
there
that's
wasn't
another
two
thing.
doors.
Could you trap
I
the-
never said there wasn't two doors.
Could you trap the demon? That's another thing. If you lead it into a room and then, although it is strong, who knows how strong? Because
It's strong and it's smart. So if it had time, it could get out
because
eventually.
it shattered the door on that building. It knocked him it could probably get stronger based on
if you
whatever
do have them, that is an interesting point. If you have them in like a indestructible kind of like cellar or something like that, where you can lead them in and then you go out the other way and you lock both doors or something like that, like an underground shelter or something like that.
Yeah. See,
I think your best bet is probably
going to
Fucking
church.
travel.
Oh,
No, I think it's travel and have sex in every location that you go to, because so if I am here and then I travel to I fly to another country. Hi, Paul. How are you?
I don't think you realize it's easier for some people to get laid than others.
It's gonna be fine. I'm not worried.
You can also.
You're not worried.
No,
this
you
isn't good advice for everyone else.
I'll
Tony,
just throw a Bible at you. You'll be fine.
That's the way to do it.
Yes, you're gonna go and you can pay for it, Tony. You can pay for it with all your Hack the Movie money.
When don't I pay for it? When has anyone had sex without paying for it with time, money, or depression? I feel like you always pay for sex.
No,
That turned out really
I-
sad. Really I didn't like it. I don't
enjoy
want to participate anymore.
Isn't it so much
yeah.
fun being on the show?
Yeah.
see how sad he is, and I'm just like, I have fun, great sex, and I'm very happy with it.
No, but you
Like,
pay for it in one way or
How?
another.
How am I paying for it?
Wasting your time.
It's not a
having to
waste of
talk
time.
to them. Like,
And no one ever said I had to talk to them. I never said that aspect.
anyway, I think I came up with the best solution. You're talking about fucking fish, but then you don't even know what a fish is. You're trying to make a panic room or something. Whatever. Point is, don't have sex. And I promise my fans, because of this film, I will not have sex for the rest of the year. And you can hold me to that. I'm a man
No
of
one's
my
shocked.
word.
We're all like, we know that's inevitable. Like, Tony, how's your dating life? You just said how you can't have sex without paying for it.
I'm deleting all the apps. Anyway, that is it from us. You did your plug mid-show, but how about for a WTP? But how about you plug your channel?
I'd love to. You can check me out on Once Over with Cayley. That's Cayley for more movie reviews.
Yeah, she reviews some really good movies, and sometimes she talks about Dumb and Dumber 2. Mm-hmm. And good movies. Anyway, Crystal.
Dumb and Dumber's fun.
Crystal, where can we find you? If I was an ST demon and I needed to kill you, where would I follow
Probably
you?
at work.
That one worked for me. I liked it that
Yeah, I know.
It didn't
Eventually,
work. You did it enough, and then it got to me.
Really?
That's-
I got
that's-
suckered in. I got suckered in.
Failed so
See,
hard.
that is-
I had respect for
see,
you.
that's the golden rule of
kinda.
comedy. If it isn't funny the first 100 times, just keep doing it. It'll eventually break at some
Oh
point.
no, I didn't like that. I liked it.
I very agree at you.
You
So,
were about
Crystal-
to say words.
I said at work 'cause that's where I always am. I'm always at work. Unless it wants to follow me on Twitter and Instagram.
Oh, what if you had cyber sex? Does that count?
No.
Oh man, that would have been.
I mean, now you're going into
I
like
can make
what-
a lot of questions like that one.
No.
Yeah.
I'm thinking like if it counts as sex, because I remember reading if you consider it sex, then it counts. Like,
But like
But if
having
you
sex
c-
with what? Like inanimate objects? Does that count too?
no, but I'm thinking like maybe like phone sex. You just keep the phone going for like. You would have to plan it out. Be awkward. You have to plan it out. Have a
No.
million people do this, and the demon will just be stuck forever.
No. Unless you get what happens if it's the demon? Like,
This is never gonna end because there's so many good theories. Go on.
I was saying, where they follow, what happens if the demon is sucked into the cyber world?
Oh no! And it's like the Matrix.
And because there's so much porn and sex online, it just does nonstop killing in the cyber world.
That's
and we
actually
get
what
stuck into-
viruses are.
It's the ST demon.
Oh no! What if you have sex with an AI program and then tell the AI, "Hey, can you come up with new scenarios
I
where?"
asked about robots.
Yeah.
I asked several of my friends about robots, and everybody agreed no. I said AI. I
But
said
it has some
AI
type of
robot.
no.
And everybody said no.
Well, send your ST demon to Crystal on Twitter. You have to type out the link. You can't search her name,
Yeah,
and
I
nor
don't
can
know
you
what's
search
up.
my name on Twitter.
Yeah.
We're not shadow banned, but we're not like you can't add us. You know how when you add someone, the list shows up. We're not on that.
You have to like if you just spell out my name, it's fine. It's not difficult at all.
Yeah.
It's just CRYSTALQUIN.
Honestly,
One N.
I blame Mid Salad because she's also like I think we just talked to Mid Salad too much,
Yeah.
and Twitter was like, oh no, these
It's just like
fuckers.
you're-
We're grouping these fuckers in with her. Don't tweet mint salad.
You can also find me on Instagram.
You have your Twitter's less than a year old. I don't want it to get nuked that
I
quick.
don't even know anything about the words that you're saying. I'm just learning Twitter. I'm thinking about ST demons. I'm very upset right now.
Ugh. You can also find me on Twitch. I'm gonna start streaming more. Hopefully, when this comes out, I am still.
I'm sure
to
when this
stream
came
more.
out, you've done 100 streams.
I won't go that far. Like I said, I live at work. Calm down over there. No. Hopefully, I'll be more present. We'll see.
Okay. Yeah, that's all I got.
Cool.
Watch the goddamn movie or don't. All right, goodbye.
Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out our other videos and Patreon page.